Okay, so first, need to welcome everybody. Thanks for taking the time to come, and for those of you joining online, I really appreciate the fact that you're taking time to have a look and learn about ClearVue and where we are and what's changed and what hasn't. I guess firstly, probably some introductions. Firstly, we've got a couple of our really valued industry partners here. So Link Merlo from Urbas, who, if you've been following us on the ASX, he's the Executive Director of Urbas and has been a wonderful supporter of ours. Thanks, Link, for coming. James McLennan, who is the Managing Director of a company called OB Energy, who is about to be our first preferred installer, right, James? James has been pivotal for us in the 100 St George's project and is going to install the Tattersalls project for us as well. And he has a big national business doing commercial grade solar installs, and it's a pleasure to have his input and for us to learn. Yep. Also, of course, got to welcome our board, who I think everybody's here. I have to look at the paper to remember their names. So, of course, our new chairman, Teresa Smiths, our new director, Michael Pixley, and, of course, Vic. Now, I know that I got a piece here that says about Victor. Now, I know there's been a lot of heat in the last few weeks, but what everyone needs to understand, I think, and sure, there's been some, things haven't been perfect, there's no question, but what has been perfect is the support that he gave myself and our team to develop the stuff that you guys are going to see tonight. Without him, that probably would not have happened, and I'd be a lot more relaxed. So, Vic, it's a pleasure for me to count you as a friend, and I'm sure we're going to still do Saturday morning breakfasts, right? Yeah. Well, there you go. I don't mind paying. So why are we here? I guess what we're here to do is to talk about a difference in approach. So my approach, I guess, because I've done a couple of startup things before and grown them into reasonable sized businesses. And I think our difference in approach is focusing the resources of the company to deliver shareholder value. That is what we're all here to do. And I'm very proud of the people who are going to present and my wider team who are all standing on the back wall there trying to disappear. But I'm so proud of what they've done in the last couple of years. Now, you guys will get a taste of that tonight. The innovation and the work has been fabulous. And I'm so proud of them. And I also want to thank a lot of people who aren't here, because when we started this journey, Tao, myself and Chris in particular, the only thing we knew about glass was that you could look through it, certainly in my case. And now I think we have been on this journey to understand how we integrate BIPV into the built environment. Many people think that, you say BIPV, oh yeah, right, I'll get a rooftop panel and stick it on the side of a building. Like nothing could be further than the truth. And what we're going to show you tonight is the innovation that we've been able to do that enables us to deploy the product in a way that makes sense, in a way that the construction industry is used to, and in a way that it's deployable in the real world. And this is the real value that we've created at ClearVue, I think. And the other people I was going to thank, I didn't get to that, did I? The other people I was going to thank are all the engineers and all the factories that we've visited over the last 2 years that have taught us so much about glass, how we manufacture it, how we seal it, how we coat it, how we process it. All of these things we have had to learn from scratch. And it has been a massive learning curve. I get a bit emotional about it because I know how much work it was. Anyway, so all these people have given us some input. And without that input, we wouldn't be where we are today technically. And I think we have the best products in the world in this space. And that is down to the work of all the team that are going to present to you tonight. Everybody has been on that journey. I should have put some better lights here, I think. So what are our business process? There were a lot of questions online about what's our process and what have we done? And I think commercially, there's sort of like an normative things that you have to be able to do to produce a unique product at scale, at the right price, and the right quality. So one of the things we've been able to do is develop a network of OEM manufacturers. So if you guys have seen me do an interview before, you'll probably have seen, I always say, we're like Apple. We design the iPhone and someone makes it for us with a factory that's already at scale, which means it's less capital intensive. It means that we can produce volume, and it means that we can produce at a very, very high quality and offer the best warranties in the industry. So this obviously took a lot of negotiation. We have 5 separate OEM and suppliers in China, and we have a lot of partners all over the world, in fact, where we can go to and they will help us in our design and research and development. And this means we can produce at scale. So our current scalability, if you like, we could produce 30,000 square metres of spandrel glass or balustrade glass a month. We can produce 30,000 square metres of the cladding product a month, and we could produce well over 30,000 square metres of the vision glass. And we've done this with limited investment, and we've done this by making partnerships. Now, I'm not going to tell you who our OEM guys are because I feel like that's some of our most valuable IP, but what I can tell you is that these guys are some of the biggest solar manufacturers in the world and some of the largest glass manufacturers in the world. And they've done that because of the knowledge that we gained and how to integrate our processes into their systems. So our process basically is, if we take the World Bank project in Nigeria, where the panels are on the water at the moment. So those panels we produced in a solar factory, because a solar factory is different to a glass factory. A solar factory needs to have a clean room. It needs to be dust-free. It needs to make sure that there's not high sulfur contents in the air. It is a very hard thing to make a solar panel or a product of any sort, I guess, that's going to last for 30 years. So we have that supply base. Then we shipped it to our glass OEM. The glass guys, the glass processors, are wonderful at being able to make IGU seals. Now, I can talk about glass for a long time. I can tell you, many of these people in this room will attest that I can talk to it for a long time. But basically, the most critical factor in insulating glass is the seal. So and the seal, when you look at this, you look at that silicon there and you think, that's the seal, right? But actually it isn't. What really is doing the job is that little black line. And that little black line, to be able to make an airtight piece, or in fact, in our case, we have to make argon tight. Argon tight is worse than air because the molecules are smaller. And this is takes a lot of work to do it reliably and with quality. So we send the solar panel that's been made with guys who know about solar to a factory where they know about how to make that seal. And the part of the components that we've developed, and some of the most valuable IP I think we own, is how to run a wire through that seal without compromising it. So after we've done that, then often the client will want a framing system. So then we have another OEM supplier in China where we manufacture the frames and fit the frames. We design our own framing systems. We have ones that are easy to remove the panel on and off for maintenance purposes. There's, Tao and the guys will speak to that more, but there's another step in the train. They do the structural silicon, which is a very technical job in itself because we can't clearly have windows falling off buildings. And they do the curing and the Q&A on the silicon system, and then we ship to the end user. So that whole chain has been developed by us over the last 2 years. The other thing that I think is vitally important is people think when we're a company in our position that we get a $200 million job, for example, how are we going to fund that, right? It's always, things are about the money. And the these OEM agreements parallel our payment terms to our customers. So if I did a $200 million deal tomorrow, which, hopefully, but if I did a $200 million deal tomorrow, cash flow wise, it doesn't affect us. So we can grow without any additional capital. And we negotiated that into those OEM agreements. So I just wanted you guys to sort of, first time we've really communicated how much work has been done in this space. And, there's no doubt that, we've had some challenges, but and we've still got some to come, I suppose, but the level of work that's been done by the team has positioned the company now to begin the commercialization process. So I think I'm going to hand over now to the team to start to do their presentations. So first is Tao. So I think I'm going to bore everybody and give everyone a little expose on each of these guys because they deserve it. So Tao has been, sorry.
So 4.5 years, I think, yeah. Yeah. Well, just give me a second to test it. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Tao. I'm the new Chief Operation Officer in the ClearVue. So today, what I'm doing is that I will take you to a short journey to understand what we have achieved and where we're up to. So at first, I have to say, our business or our time here has to achieve a pivotal point in the business growth. So our technology has been proven by the global testing bodies and some users. And also, our marketing opportunities is growing and booming globally. So that is all time about the commercialization and the scalability. So the key to accelerate the commercialization is about how to connect two words who have already spoke to the same language. So the two words I mean is one is for the construction industry, and the other one is the solar industry. So BIPV application is not simple like that to just put a traditional PV panel on the facade. So the product itself has to be a real building material. And the BIPV application has to be a systematic solution with lots of engineering considerations, including the safety, reliability, sustainability, installation methodologies, and of course, for the customer, it's about payback. So that is why in ClearVue, so my team's mission is to integrate the BIPV into the real building environment. So we have transformed our products, seamlessly into the building facade. So when the customer or developer or architect, when they use it, they just look natural and they look like they disappear in the whole facade. And also by prioritizing the industry requirements and the thermal performance, so we also consider the sustainability requirements. So we design all the products with engineering and financial consideration into the DNA from the day one into our final products. And of course, so most cases, the product we supply to the client is 5 years or less, the payback period, and it's even before the government subsidies. So our target is to make sure in the future and every surface building can be BIPV products. So we actually redefine the products that make sure that the building can be designed, constructed, and renovated in a real engineering methodology. So we can offer different products, so both including our solar vision glass, solar spandrel, solar cladding, and then you can also use it on the balustrades and the skies for residential commercials. And even in this morning, we just launched a new product. It's a travelable roof panels. It can directly add to the existing router roof, and to provide the customers much more reliability and lifespan. So of course, we are not the only guy in the market who supply the BIPV panels. So how can we stand out among the global competitors? So I'm an engineer, so I made a table. So it basically covers all the engineering aspects. But today, I would like to give you the concept overview. So if you have any question, you want to know anything, you can come to me after the presentation. So the first thing is about the architecture. So I think most of you probably know that in the commercial projects, the architect is the team leader. You have to design something to fit their needs. And that means that we think about our product has to be flexible and can be customized. So we can supply very large glass up to the 2.35 meter to 4.5 meter. And we can make very thick glass from 25 plus 25 millimeters laminated. And we can supply the different color, pattern, different shapes, including the triangle, diamond. And we can also make the curved glass panels as long as the radius is over 1.8 meters. And also, we can also make our product can be designed for the aluminum spacer and also the super spacer for the aesthetics requirement for insulated glazing unit. So I normally call it IGU. So electrical safety, we only use top quality cells. It will be give you much steady product, very high standard product. So you can see for the tolerance, we only supply the tolerance only plus or minus 5%. So our competitors normally is like a 10%. So the reason, the difference is, for example, if we supply 300 watts panels, so there will be like a range for tolerance. Our minimum will be like 285, but they only service 270. So one panel is 15 watts, but many panels are being blocked for the system size. And also, our product can be designed to 210 watts per square meter, depending on the cell density and the shape and the size. Structurally, we have the typical and very good products. And our product also passed spandrel and can also have passed the AS4284 facade testing by simulating a 40-story commercial building in Melbourne. So Doug already talk about the thermal performance. So normally, what we can do is that for the BIPV, we can do much more cool things, just other than supply a product only produce the energy. So we can make all of our product range to be integrated into an IGU, right? So that means you can just significantly improve the thermal performance for the building and the power demands. So our U value is quite low, 0.4 to 1.7, because our product is designed eligible with different coating, online coating, soft coating, and also with the landmark vacuum glass technologies. So it is very flexible. And about the reliability, so Doug also mentioned about how important it is for the seal. So we already test our product to the US standards, European codes, and Australian standards. So the testing is like you have to make samples, and the auditor from these testing bodies, and send it to a chamber for doing the up to 6 months testing. They do the thermal cycle testing from the -40 to the 85. The reason we have to test our IGU because just think about the normal IGU, normal double glazing unit. When you install it on a 40-story building, the least thing you want to see is that it becomes condensated. So that means replacing the IGU will be much more expensive than a value of this panel itself. So that we have to make our product much reliable to give the customers confidence. And also, we also use the best junction box IP68. So the other competitor only use IP67. So the definition is that IP68 you can put it under the water, 1.5 meter deep and for the 2 hours completely. Fire testing is very critical. So why we think this is important? Because if you buy a BIP panel, some computers say, I have class A, the panel, but what does it mean is for the IEC 6730, it's like electric testing. Basically, it's only for the roof application. But once it turns to the facade, so the panel will be vertical, and the fire mechanism will be getting different. So you have to use the building materials to test it. So we have the best fire classification in the market is A2 S1 D0. A2 means limited combustible. S1 means the minimum to no smoke once burned. And D0 means that there's no flaming droplet at all during the whole testing process. So the other guys, the computer, they only have the B. B is combustible. So with the A2 S1 D0 classification, that means we can actually to replace all the combustible panels on the facade. Yeah, this is very important. And we also have done the AS1530.3 testing for the Australian and the New Zealand market. Yeah. So product warranty, we have the best industrial warranty. We supply the customer after 2 years product warranty by regions. And because we use the best silicon cells, so we offer the 30 years, 80% output warranty across the lifespan. So for installation is a very common question from the engineer architects, because the BIPV industry is still quite new. So why don't you just do the pitch to your engineers and architects? They will ask the same question: how would I install it? How could I do the maintenance? So that's why we have to make sure our product fits all the existing framing system. There's no modification on the framing system. Otherwise, the cost will be very high. And also not very less reliable. And the maintenance, which you can use it because it's like a glazing. We just treat it as like a standard glazing system. For the technical support, we have the global office, we have the UK and the US and the Australia support. So material matching is also very important, because if we can match all the existing our product, if we can make our product matching the existing materials designed by the architects, so we can go into supply without losing the aesthetics of those creative ideas. So as a new COO, so my operational priority is very clear for the next 6 to 9 months. So first thing is about the production optimization. So as I said, we have to make sure our products, design can fit the existing production lines. And I'm going to work very closely with our R&D team, trying to improve our products and to reduce the cycle time, minimize the material waste, and also looking at the scalability. That will make the price much lower. And the OEM supply management. So I'm going to strengthen my relationship with all the OEM manufacturers. So basically, we are going to make sure they are alignment with our target, like the innovation, the prototyping, and also their commitment to the sustainability, and also to deliver the projects on timely. Compliance and certification. So certification is very important. It's non-negotiable. So we have to make sure our products adapt to the latest standards, because this will give the many customers the confidence, also give us the credibility to make sure our products to meet their requirements or exceed the normal standards. So cross-function collaboration. So I'm going to build a better communication relationship with our team, the key functions. So including the technical, commercial, marketing, and other executive team. So make sure our any development, technical development, or the new stuff can be clearly translated to their team, and to make sure they can make the right commercial and marketing strategies. We'll be consistently managing the project delivery excellence. So basically, we'll make sure all the products can be delivered on time, on the budget, and with high quality. So the quality control and assurance is very important. We'll make sure each component will be checked and labeled from the very beginning to the end. Okay, thank you everyone. So now I'm handing my speaker to our head of R&D, Chris Cole. Yeah.
Tao has been working with family about half the time.
Thank you, Tao, and thank you, Doug, for that. Yeah. So my name's Chris. I'm the head of R&D at ClearVue, and I'm here to give a bit of an overview of our product development strategy and our sort of ethos when it comes to product design. So our main sort of structure is that BIPV needs to be a building material first and a power generator second. So it needs to function as a building material so that these engineers, designers, and architects can actually put it on their buildings. And that's sort of the main thing that it needs to be able to do to be able to be sold to people. So these engineers, these architects, and these designers need to be able to install this product as they would a normal construction material. And so to be able to develop and to stay ahead in the market, we need to be able to reduce these barriers to install and make it as easy as possible to install these products on a building. And we need to improve these payback periods to give a really strong financial incentive to these stakeholders. So if we can demonstrate to these stakeholders that our products are no different to the materials that they're used to working with, then the adoption will accelerate. And this means addressing the traditional industry pain points head-on with innovations that reduce the installation costs, that improve the fire performance of the products, that demonstrate the longevity of these products, and that maximize the thermal performance. Because any reduction in the building's operating costs is money for the stakeholder, which is a huge selling benefit for us. So one example of how we're doing this is with our new junction box. So a junction box sits on the back of every solar panel that we sell, and it regulates the shading performance of a panel. Now, if these junction boxes fail in some way, it can lead to the panel failing, and it can also lead to fires on the building, which would be catastrophic. So all of our traditional solar panels use these junction boxes, but they're not designed at all for BIPV. They're designed to be sat in a solar farm where there's wind flow and airflow, and they don't need any temperature concern. And so when these panels are stuck on the side of a building in a hot facade cavity, these can overheat and lead to panel failure. Our competitors, by installing these products as they normally would, it leads to massive design changes of the building to be able to accommodate these products, and it leads to modification of the frames, which can be expensive. And so we're reducing all of these barriers to entry by designing these products so that the engineers can install these facade sections as they would a normal piece of glass without any of these additional barriers to entry. So these products have improved fire performance over our competitors, which is a huge product differentiator, and it leads to really seamless integration of the product into the facade design process. And that's really important, and it's something that we're sort of applying to our entire products range. And so the second part of our approach is the improvement of payback periods. So in doing that, we're taking a two-pronged approach. So we're reducing the manufacturing cost and complexity of our product range. And we're doing this by collaborating with all of our license partners and manufacturing partners. We're identifying all of the pain points in manufacturing these products, and we're improving the system design to address these pain points and lead to manufacturing at scale. And we're also increasing the power generation of these products. So we're innovating on the module design, on the efficiency, and this leads to money for the stakeholder because you're generating electricity and it leads to a higher uptake. So one example of how we're doing this is our R&D roadmap for the Generation 2 vision glass. So we're reducing the manufacturing cost, complexity, and difficulties in manufacturing, and that's leading to a lower price point. And at the same time, we're working on the efficiency and the power generation of the window, and we're really excited to show you that in the future. So now I'm going to introduce Clifton, who will talk to you about business development. Thank you very much, and looking forward to meeting you all afterwards.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to see some familiar faces and some new faces. I'm going to talk about some stuff we've discussed in the past. I think it's good that we talk about it again, focus on some of the important points of educating everyone about BIPV, and I'll take you through some slides and then we can have a discussion afterwards as well, like Chris said. So at ClearVue, we have a very simple go-to-market strategy. It's a low-cost go-to-market strategy that is repeatable. Basically, we use established IGU manufacturers to manufacture on our behalf. We take our solar products, we send them to these IGU manufacturers, and they assemble for us to make double glazed units and triple glazed units. These businesses are well-established businesses. They have excellent reputations, and they've got the manufacturing capabilities that we require to do our product. Okay? So that has been our go-to-market strategy now for some time. But we've discovered over the last few years that the client wants more. They want an end-to-end solution for their product. So we have introduced new partnerships. These are strategic partners. These are Façade installation companies. These are solar installation companies, and these are electrical installation companies. And these allow us to provide a full solution to the client. Not only can we manufacture the best product, we can deliver it and deploy it on the building. That is what the market is asking us to do, and that is why we have introduced these strategic partners. So the current state of play in ClearVue is that we have 11 licensed partners scattered around the globe, giving us a global reach, and we've got 4 strategic partners currently backing them up. The process for becoming a licensed partner or a strategic partner requires a full process of due diligence, and that due diligence takes time. So we have numerous licensed partners and numerous strategic partners somewhere along that journey, okay? In the next 6 to 12 months, the expectation is that we will sign up 45% more licensed partners around the world to deliver and manufacture our product. In order to support them, we expect to take up 60% more strategic partners around the world to help those guys deliver the projects, okay? As I said, the due diligence process is quite long, and we've got numerous people on that. And our expectation then in the next 12 to 24 months is to add to that again with another 33% licensed partners and 20% strategic partners. You can see now that the combination of both is kind of leveling out. So we have enough people to manufacture and we have enough people to install. This allows us then to sell more product to the market in the markets that are demanding it. Okay? Over the past, we've talked about projects, and I want to touch on that again today. In the past, projects have come to ClearVue mainly directly, but through our go-to-market strategy, they should come through our license partner, and we're seeing more in that today. On that chart in front of you there, at least 30% of those projects have come through our license partners, which is a big uptake from the last time I spoke to you guys in April. You will see that we have projects in South America, although we didn't have on the strategic partners or license partners any people in South America. We are being supported there by a few salespeople who are working for us, and we will continue to monitor that market as it grows. You will also see that we have North America on that market, and as many of you will know, we went to North America recently and we reduced our office position there. We reduced our overheads. But we are continuing to have a presence there. We have 11 projects that we are involved in over there, and we will monitor the North American business, and it will scale up or scale down in reflection to the market demand, the changes to regulations, and the changes to the administration over the next 3 to 4 years. So what do all these projects mean, and where are they? not just geographically, but where are they in stages of turning to revenue. So on the other side of the slide, you can see that 15% of these projects are in a feasibility stage. Well, what does that mean? It basically means we have had some engagement from a client or an architect, and they're keen on BIPV, and we're going through an educational process about the products that ClearVue can offer. Okay, and we hope that they will then become further, maybe turn into a tender or a specification of ClearVue products. 20% of the projects that we have on our books today were in pre-proposal engagement. That means that we have received some specific documentation, maybe a plan, maybe an elevation, maybe some images, maybe an energy survey. And we are now fully engaged on that project with the client, trying to educate them on the use of BIPV on their project and using ClearVue products. That, when you get to that level of engagement, it always leads to a tender. 65% of the projects on that, we have submitted a proposed tender. Okay, that means we have produced, and I think a lot of you who were here in April would have seen this. We do a very, very detailed proposal. We produce a shading analysis. We produce an energy generation analysis. We give pricing. We give product advice. We give installation advice. So of those projects that you see up there, 65% of those projects are at that stage. What does that mean? We've received really good feedback from numerous projects in that 65%, and we hope that we will be able to convert some of them into sales in the future, which we will communicate with you when we do. I want to take a little time to discuss the gestation period of contracting, and I think I touched on this in April, but I think it's very, very important for you guys to understand this. What you see in front of you are 4 projects that we have successfully received orders for, and we are currently manufacturing or have deployed. And I think it's important for you guys to understand this. So you can see from Leicester Street in Melbourne, which is a project we delivered. It's got another name which we're not allowed to use, but it's called Leicester Street. We first received that contract, the contract documentation in July 2023. We turned around the proposal in July 2023, so therefore it's quite a small project, and we turned around the proposal. Our proposal time, just for your information, depends on a number of factors: the size of the project, the amount of detail that the client requires, and sometimes they actually give us a return date that we have to work towards. In this case, it was get it back to us as quickly as you can. We did that, and we returned it in July 2023. But you can see the jump here from July 2023 to receiving an order, accepting an order in January 2024. That's a serious amount of time. What happens during this time? A lot of things happen. We get a lot of questions we have to answer. We speak to fire engineers, we speak to energy engineers, we speak to architects. We supply samples. We make mock-ups. We sometimes have to engage with third parties for planning permission, things that are outside our control. That project could have not received planning permission, be stopped, and we could be years waiting for it to come back. And we have some of that on the previous projects that we've shown. But you can see here the length of time and the amount of work that goes into this. In that period of proposal plus engagement, we do a lot of work. Another project, 100 St. George, a different type of project, a different size. We received the information in January 2024. We turned it around again quite quickly, returned it in February 2024. There's 9 months between the proposal and when we actually receive an order. In that 9 months, we did method statements, we made samples, we engaged with a third party for installation, who now are going to become one of our strategic things. So we've demonstrated there that our solution works. We need to give the client the solution, the full package. Tattersalls, very, very large projects for us. We received it in 2024. The size of the size of the project meant it took us a bit longer to do the proposal. We returned the proposal back to in March 2024, and you can see it's well over a year before we get an order. What did we do during that time? So much work, method statements, samples, engagement with the architect, engagement with the engineer, checking calculations, proving calculations. A serious amount of work went into that period of time. And the final one I'll talk about tonight is the World Bank. Again, quite a small project, but a good demonstration of our strategy of giving a total solution. Client came to us in July 2024. I just need some panels, he said. So we gave an offer. You can see we gave him the offer in July 2024. We didn't receive an order until 2025. We had to help him with everything. How does he get the water off? How can he replace it? How can he get up there to install it? And then we had to bring on board a strategic partner to give him the frame. So our solution is working. We're giving people the right solution. We're helping them out in order for them to build a proper building. I think it's really important that you guys understand that as investors, there's a lot of work involved in a presentation. As you can see, the growth here is quite large over the next few years. And I want to assure you that in the background, we are building the support teams in order to be able to deliver that work, not only to support our strategic partners and our license partners, but also support clients and architects and developers to be able to go through this process and make sure that they get the right product for their project. I'm going to introduce you to Lisa now, and she's going to talk to you about our marketing and branding and how we communicate that with you guys.
Good day. It's an absolute pleasure and honor to be here today with you. I am passionate about what ClearVue has to offer the world, and I hope you will be too once you leave here tonight after hearing from our team. It has been an amazing journey. I am the new Director of Marketing for ClearVue, and today, I not only want to give you confidence in what we are going to be doing from a marketing, business development, and partner engagement perspective, but also I really want you to walk away excited about the future for what ClearVue has to offer and what we make possible. We are, from a marketing, branding, and business development perspective, very focused on three main things, and that is supporting profitability, increasing revenue, and driving market share growth. We are going to do this by focusing on three key areas. First, we are going to clearly communicate what makes ClearVue superior. You've heard from my teammates here all of the amazing engineering, proprietary development of innovations, and so much more. We haven't done a good enough job of communicating what truly makes ClearVue different and special in the market, not only from other BIPV products, but also from traditional building products. We are going to focus on that. Secondly, we are going to boost our partnership growth. We need to have more selling activity happening in order to support our profitability, increase that revenue, and grow our market share. So we are going to really focus on building a best-in-class partner program. I've had the good fortune to work on many partner channel marketing programs over the years. In fact, one of the programs we were focused on over 40 countries around the globe. And I've also been a provider of insight and feedback for both IBM and Cisco's partner marketing programs. In addition, we are going to have a major focus on demand generation. So we are going to support building the business by providing demand generation activities to support all of the work that Clifton will be doing from a business development perspective. And we are going to do this by focusing on targeted audiences. We have three main audiences and then two foundational audiences. So the first audience that we are going to focus on are our partners. So like I said, we're really looking at building a best-in-class channel program that will support our partners, give them the tools that they need to be successful and go out and successfully grow their business with ClearVue. In addition, we are going to focus on influencers. So the people that are going to actually help people make the decision to implement ClearVue solutions. The architects, the facade consultants, glazing and solar contractors and distributors. And then finally, we are going to focus on the corporate users, the people that are ultimately going to make the decision to purchase ClearVue solutions and implement them in their projects. So that's the real estate developers, the real estate owners, government, corporate innovation leaders, and sustainability executives. From a foundational perspective, we have you, our shareholders. So we see you as one of our greatest supporters, and we want to make sure that we are communicating very clearly and transparently what is happening within ClearVue. And then we also have the media and analysts. We want to make sure that we are targeting media and analysts that cover each of these audiences and give them the information that they need about ClearVue. In terms of priorities, we have 3 phases that we are focused on, although the phases are going to overlap and happen simultaneously. But the first phase on short-term priorities from a marketing perspective is really to look at an evaluation and review of everything that we have been doing and focus on the things that have been successful, eliminate the things that are not generating the demand that we want to create. And we're also going to look at our prospect database and get that really cleaned up and make sure that we can segment that database and get the right messages to the right audiences. The next phase is going to be focused on really laying that foundation that we need to have a successful marketing and branding program. We're going to make sure that we're looking at our extended marketing team, both the internal resources as well as our extended vendors that we work with from a marketing perspective. We're also going to look at right-sizing our CRM and marketing performance management platform so that we can track and we know what is happening with all of our leads and opportunities. And then we also are going to refresh our website. We are going to blend the US and corporate websites back together in a single website, and we are going to make sure that we are taking the best features of those sites and blending it into a new, better site. And next, it's going to be all about execution. So making sure that we are instituting those differentiation programs that I talked about, the demand gen programs. We are going to develop and execute on that best-in-class partner engagement program. And we are going to make sure that we have consistent and very transparent investor communications. And we will see very soon that we will have our annual general meeting in November, as well as our 2025 annual report coming up. So those will be key communications coming up from an investor perspective. With that, I am very excited to introduce my colleague, Georgina Cook, and she's going to come up and speak with you about our sustainability strategy.
Hello everyone, I'm Georgina. I'm the sustainability lead here at ClearVue, and I'm going to talk to you about how we drive revenue, profitability and commercialization via sustainability. So as is obvious, sustainability is at the core of what we do here at ClearVue. Our existence is predicated on the sustainability targets of others and the net zero ambitions of the world. We have a clear mission to reduce the carbon emissions of the built environment by designing products that build a bridge between the construction and the solar industries and facilitate the necessary uptake of revolutionary technologies. By offering a commercially comprehensive and competitive solution to reach our globally recognized and unfortunately pressing goals. However, sustainability is much more than carbon. It is the encompassment of what it means to design a world that can continually and reliably sustain life in multiple forms. This is evidenced by the holistic nature of ESG strategies. So today, I've chosen to represent how we will drive revenue and commercialization by highlighting a few ways that we open the door for our clients to reach their ESG targets. So from net zero to climate resilience, biodiversity, circularity, all the way through to ESG disclosures. So I'll start with net zero. ClearVue supports the net zero ambitions of our clients by providing clean energy on site, using previously inactive surfaces to support green infrastructure. This facilitates financially sustainable net zero strategies, where financial risk is mitigated through a reduced reliance on potentially turbulent energy and carbon credit markets. Zero carbon ready buildings are required to be electrified, efficient, smart, and flexible. They incorporate grid interactive strategies into the building design, operation, and management. Our inbuilt reporting infrastructure can support buildings in understanding the consumption and other metrics on a facade panel-by-panel basis. Most significantly, our products don't just produce energy, but reduce the overall energy consumption of the building by integrating with the best-in-class thermal technologies, evidenced by our partnership with Landvac. We do this because we recognize that BIPV's value sits in the overall improved energy performance of the building. Next, climate resilience and adaptation is a key issue for the built environment, as we try to ensure that our buildings could withstand the increasing severity and frequency of extreme weather events. We ensure that all of our products are designed to be compatible with the highest quality climate resilient solutions. For example, we've undertaken extensive testing to meet Hong Kong's typhoon ratings. This is all without even mentioning the climate resilient opportunities that BIPV can provide through energy autonomy. Beyond this, our products can support our clients to minimize their biodiversity and nature-based risk by relocating solar production from open field to on-site, which uses previously inactive surfaces for solar and returns greenfield sites to agriculture, nature, and other uses. Further, on-site production of energy can reduce the reliance on transitioning grid infrastructure, thus reducing the overall resource intensity and embedded carbon of a transition to renewables, as well as reducing system losses and decreasing the risk of flow-on consequences to ecosystems. Finally, circularity is of growing significance to everyone's ESG strategies. We support this by assembling our products as close to site as possible, using our licensee structure that Clifton mentioned, to reduce transport emissions and support local economies. We follow the living building design principles with the creation of a modular framing system for design for disassembly and ease of maintenance. We offer one of the longest product life expectancies in the industry due to the quality of our products. So there are plenty of end-of-life options for downcycling, payback schemes, and stewardship programs that we are looking to explore. With all this done, on a new level of transparency, we will support our clients in their ESG disclosures and financial reporting. BIPV will play a crucial role in helping the building sector achieve its previously unattainable ESG targets, and ClearVue are well positioned to support this through our strong partnerships, R&D strategy, and understanding of our clients' financial and sustainability drivers. I'm going to pass the microphone back to Doug for whatever he's going to say.
Someone took the other one off me. I guess they were concerned I was going to play with the switch. Look, I guess I get a little bit emotional when I think about my people. And it's because they have worked so hard. And there is a result. And that is the most important thing, I think. And tonight we're talking about drawing a line, I guess. We're drawing a line between what was before and what is now and what will be the future. And the focus of this company is going to be on the cutting edge of what we need to do to deliver what we need to our clients.